Hi you guys, my name is Cherita and I need an intro. We're gonna jump right into this. So if you guys have not been keeping up with this whole James Charles, Tati Westbrook drama, then you're probably gonna be a little lost in this video. But I mean, literally, like, nobody can get a day off because something happens and then something else happens and then this happens and somebody wants to post this and somebody wants to post that. And then all of a sudden, like Peter Mon said, James Charles came out and did kind of a tell-all. I mean, not really a tell-all, but he definitely told his side of the story. And now he has me on camera looking a fool with this big ass pimple on my big ass nose out here making content for you guys. James Charles and Tati Westbrook have been through a little bit of a situationship type deal. I did a video talking about it and how I feel that Tati exposed James because her feelings were hurt. It was kind of like James did something and it was the straw that broke the camel's back, and not only did Tati just come out and tell her piece, but she kind of told the story of James for James without knowing everything. And depending on whose side you're on, which I will get to that, but depending on whose side you're on, you're either going to 100% believe James or 100% think that he's lying about everything. And that's the problem with cancel culture and stan culture and this whole social media culture. Everybody wants to believe that you have to take a side. And I'm here to talk about not Tati Westbrook and James because I have talked about them before, but I'm here to talk about James Charles and Jeffree Star because James talked in depth a little bit about his relationship with Jeffree, and I'm here to talk about whose side you should be on. So James uploaded a video. It was like 41 minutes long. I think Tati's was like 43. So it's like 40 some odd minutes of him not just telling his side of the story, but like exposing with like receipts and saying this is the conversations that we have had and this, that, and the other. Of course, people are going to come out and say, well, I think everything he has to say is incorrect because for whatever reason they think these things. I think everything that James put on his video is correct. However, I also think that he didn't talk about certain things for a reason. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to react to the whole video. Again, the video is 41 minutes long, but I'm going to be talking about the Jeffree Star parts because this video is going to be about who's right, Jeffree Star or James Charles. So let's go ahead and start from when James included a video about Jeffree talking about how he likes straight men. And if you don't know the background of that, everybody has been telling James that he's a predator because he preys on straight men, but the same people are praising Jeffree Star for being who he is, even though he has the exact same feelings about straight men as James does. And so let's go ahead and watch that.
When it comes to experiences that I've learned from in the past, a lot of times I've talked about being into straight guys. Now, this conversation is something that has upset and also confused quite a lot of people. So in order to provide a little bit more context, I would like to play a clip from Tati's friend Jeffree Star's video titled "The Truth About My Relationship."
I was single for a long time, and the reason why is because I am really not attracted to anyone but what we call in this world as a straight male or a normal dude. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, I am really into straight guys, and I know that is going to not be surprising to a lot of you. So, you know, from just traveling everywhere and meeting dudes all the time and being around that world for so long, I really kind of fell into a trap of always being someone that was kept like the secret. And when you are someone like me who is, you know, I get asked all the time, even every day on my channel, you guys, I get comments, are you a guy? Are you a girl? Are you transgender? Are you trying to transition? What are you? Being someone that is like me, that is a guy that looks like a woman, right? I keep doing this because so many people are not into labels these days, and I love that. I'm all about that. You do you, call yourself whatever you want, whatever you believe in. I think that is the beauty and the freedom of, living, is we can be whoever we want to be. I've always been into straight men, and the problem with that my entire life is I never found real love, because straight men behind closed doors, they love people like me, they love hooking up, they love having fun, they love the relationship as long as other people don't know.
I really like this clip from Jeffree's video because not only is everything in it very accurate, but I honestly feel like he did a great job of explaining a topic that is very confusing and complex and that not a lot of people understand, including me fully, to be honest.
So basically, Jeffree Star posted this video talking about, I think, him and Nate's relationship. If you don't know, Jeffree Star has a boyfriend. His name is Nate. Nate is, or was, a straight man before he, before he got into a relationship with Jeffree Star. Nobody really knows their relationship except for them two. So not my business to talk about what they do, like behind closed doors or whatever. But I think Jeffree Star and James have had this conversation before, and I think this is why James always said things like, yeah, I like straight men, I like straight guys, this, that, and the other. So the fact that Jeffree literally has something saying like, I like straight men, and then James, who is emulating this person because of the culture that we live in, he goes, oh, well, Jeffree is this kind of person. Look at his success. I can be the same type of person and I'm going to get the same success. So he's out here looking at what Jeffree has said or what Jeffree has done. And despite all of Jeffree's wrongdoings, even though he was the exact same age, actually he was a little older than than James is now when he was doing his dirt or, his controversies, even though that's what he was doing, James is like, well, I mean, he did this, that, and the other. I can do this, that, and the other and still become this successful person. So the fact that Jeffree has it's a video. Like, nobody doctored this up. Nobody was like, nobody put words in his mouth. Jeffree said all these things on his own. And I could be wrong because obviously I'm not there, but it seems like they've probably had this conversation before in person where, they talk about how they love straight men, which James also included a clip about Jeffree and James when they're like doing makeup or whatever. And Jeffree was talking about like straight men, and they were both having this conversation. But the thing is James is going based off of that. Things that he's done has been predatorial-ish, but that does not mean he's a predator. That's just like, I can sit here and tell you Jeffree Star is racist and people will fight me to the end. He's not racist, he's not racist, he's not racist, but the things that he said is racist. Okay, that's fine. We can mutually agree on that. The things that he has said have been racist. So I'm here to give you guys that same argument. Things that James has done has been borderline predatorial, but does that make him a predator? Nope. I mean, unless you're saying that the things that Jeffree has said makes him racist, that make it make sense. If you're saying that James is a predator based on these text messages and people saying that they feel uncomfortable, then you guys need to believe that Jeffree Star is racist based on the things that he said and based on things that have made people of color and black people uncomfortable. So there's that part of James Charles and Jeffree Star, like James basically pointing out like, hey, Jeffree Star has said the same things that I've said, so why am I getting the backlash? So let's move on to the next set of things that Jeffree Star has done to James Charles.
On Monday, May 6th, Jeffree posted this tweet to his Twitter, which I instantly started getting tagged in. After this tweet and a few other ones from him and his friends, I decided to reach out to him and ask if there was something going on that I should be aware of.
So right here, people are tagging James in stuff saying like, hey, is this about you? Is this about you? Blah, 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 blah. So the first thing that James does is he reaches out to Jeffree because at this point, he thinks they're so cool. I'm gonna read the text messages. James says, why am I getting tagged in your tweet a million times? What's going on? Can we please talk when you get a second? Jeffree inserts a voice memo, which James does not have saved or whatever, because why would he have to save voice memos from a friend if he thinks things are okay? Oh, and his voice memos delete after they're played. James, you need to change that right now. Change it to where it deletes after a year. I don't know, but you need to change it. Can you FaceTime me for a sec, please? I won't take long. Then Jeffree responds, I can't talk right now, but I'll hit you up later when I'm free. I don't know what is happening with you and other people, but I hope it can all be fixed for the sake of all of us. Now, mind you, this is May 6th. Keep that date in mind. And James says, okay, I'll be at the Met, so I don't know when I'll be able to reply, but I would really like to talk to you soon. Could use some honest advice and feedback. When he says that, that makes me believe that he truly believes that Jeffree has his best interest at heart. That's what that makes me believe. He's telling him, hey, I need help and you're the one to help me.
Even though he said it wasn't about me, I still asked to talk to him, but he said he was unavailable. A few hours later, while I was getting ready for the Met Gala, I got this text from Jeffree.
So, insert this text message. We definitely need to talk soon. This is from Jeffree. Tati and Shane plus a few others told me everything you have said about me over the last 6 months. I am heartbroken, disgusted, and so sad to hear everything, but shockingly not surprised. I have only been a great friend to you and never said anything bad about you behind the scenes, which is obviously not the case for you. Which, at this time, I'm sure James felt some type of way because he literally, and this was still May 6th. You know, he already asked Jeffree for advice, correct? Hold on, let me go back real quick. This was only like an hour later. Like James and Jeffree were texting at like 9-something a.m. and then Jeffree texts James. So within an hour, he gets all of these allegations, but whatever. So James says, let's definitely talk. I do not talk about you behind your back and have not talked to Shane literally at all in the last 6 months. I appreciate the honesty and don't want to have a problem with you. I respect you a lot and anything you think I said, I will be totally upfront about and we can discuss like adults. I'll be home tomorrow in LA from 2 to 8 tomorrow and then I fly to Australia for a week. If you're available, let's get together and talk in private. Now, I think this was very, very mature of James. Like, he was like, yo, anything that like, if whatever people are saying that they said, I can tell you I didn't say it. So tell me what you heard and I'll let you know what I said.
3 days later, still no response. I decided to reach out again, but he was not available to talk.
So after Jeffree did not respond, James reaches out to him again. Hey, let me know if you have an hour free later today and I'll pop over before going to the airport so we can talk. And he didn't respond. Then he responded again. Do you have a few minutes free to FaceTime? Jeffree responded, I'll try later. This is my only day off in Michigan with Nate's family with the face. And James said, totally understand. Enjoy your day off. You deserve it. I would really like to talk to you soon, even if it's only for a few minutes. I'm going through a lot right now and not doing well. And you've been one of the few people in this industry I can trust and talk to. And I don't want to lose that. I'd like to fix things if possible, or at least have an honest conversation about it. So then what happens? If you guys are like lost and confused, you guys really need to watch the whole video. But once again, this is just about the Jeffree situation. So after Jeffree like never replied to what James had said, he sends in like all these allegations about James being a predator and James like sexually harassing people, which a lot of those claims have been denounced as fake. But of course, like people see something and then they just believe it. Such as, you know, James like touching a guy inappropriately in a urinal, then the person came out and was like, oh, I'm just joking, I made that up, and even made up like fake DMs of James saying, hey, you need to delete this. Like, you guys, it's a whole situation. And I even said that in my Tati video, and I was like, you guys, what's gonna happen is people are gonna come out with all these stories and we're not gonna be able to understand the real from the fake. We're not gonna be able to decipher those two, but people are gonna come out with fake stories. And again, we'll get to all of that after. Right now, we're focusing on James and Jeffree. So Jeffree sends James this message. Are you going to respond to everything or pull a Manny 2.0? When you basically trapped Sam in your hotel room in Seattle and psychologically forced him to stay and made him feel horrible for their pennies you spent on the room, I knew something was terribly wrong with you. When Zach, which Zach is Nate's brother, when Zach showed me the Snapchat messages of you trying to force him to like you and send him photos, it was completely horrifying to see you use the same sentence as a would use. He was so grossed out by your behavior and the way that you tried to make him feel bad for not reciprocating the same feelings. If you watch the video, James debunks everything like, listen, I never tried to trap Sam. Like, people will show you bits and pieces to try to like bring you into their narrative, to like fit their narrative, to be like, James is this way and this, but they'll never show you like their side, or if they do, they're only gonna show you like a couple of pieces. Like, it's not hard to delete messages, but again, not my issue. So James then goes on to talk about how Zach, and James was like, it wasn't my idea, it was all Jeffree's idea. And he even includes like a clip of Jeffree saying like, oh my God, I think like you and Zach would be great together.
Hey, Nate's brother is single and mainly straight, right up your alley.
Sounds good.
And he
Sounds great for me.
and he just moved here, work.
Zach and I talked on Snapchat for maybe a total of 10 selfies back and forth to each other. He was super, super sweet, but it was very clear to me that he was not actually interested, and the conversation stopped before anything could even get remotely flirty at all.
Now that James has cleared up the whole Zachary thing, which he did not include receipts, so I mean at this point we're like, who do we believe? Do we believe James or do we believe Jeffree? Neither one of them have provided receipts, but I mean, you guys understand sheep mentality, so everybody's believing Jeffree at this point. But again, besides the point. James goes on to talk about his brother Ian and how Jeffree kind of insinuated some things about Ian. So Jeffree posted this tweet, which I will show you guys here.
Why is your brother a predator? Why did you really move back to New York City? Exactly. Shut the fuck up.
So a lot of people, including me, was like, wow, like, is it that serious? Number one, you're just insinuating things. That's all you're doing. And because the majority of Jeffree's, not even just Jeffree's, but all of these beauty YouTubers, including James, because a lot of them have sheep mentality, a lot of them are thinking, oh my God, Ian must have done something wrong. Ian must have done this. Ian must have done that. And people are never going to ask for receipts because they think that their faves can do no wrong. So they're not asking Jeffree like, oh, well, what did he do? That, you know, that, yes, sis, work, tell him off, go off. Like, sorry, but that's not cute, y'all. So James then explains why Ian went back to New York again. Do we have receipts? No, but we also do not have receipts of Jeffree saying, you know, Jeffree showing the things that happened with Ian and, not Ian, yeah, with Ian and James and Zach and everybody. Like, we don't have these receipts. The only thing we're going off of is, well, I'm Jeffree, you guys believe me. I'm James, you guys believe me. So again, right here, all that James is telling you is some private information that you can or cannot believe. It's up to you. Okay, so before James goes into detail on why Ian went back to New York, right after Jeffree sent that tweet out, he texts James, and I'm gonna let James read you guys the text messages because
Grayson is going on camera shortly to finally tell the world how you tried to molest him and touch him in his sleep and made him uncomfortable for months, you sick motherfucker. Next, Zach will be going on camera to tell how twisted and sick you were, trying to get him to like you and then make him feel bad when he didn't want to send you photos back. Then Sam from Seattle will be joining me and Cameron to talk about you trapping him in his hotel room. You need to be locked in prison for a very long time. You need the internet taken away from you. You are a danger to society.
Who sends tweets like that with no type of context? Because of course everybody can just believe and believe and believe, but all Jeffree is doing right now is just stirring up his narrative. And a lot of people on Twitter were like, well, why would James show those why would James show those text messages? Why? Because he has nothing to lose. He's already lost 3.1 million subscribers. Like, what else can he lose? James will never be canceled. Jeffree will never be canceled. Tati will never be canceled. None of these people will ever be canceled. They will never be canceled because of the culture that we are in. I bet you, and I ain't got much to bet, but I bet you there are plenty of other people who have tweets and text messages and DMs like this from Jeffree that they are too afraid to show because of Jeffree's power. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to what happened to Ian. Why did Ian go back to New York?
Since it's now open for speculation, might as well clear the air. Ian actually went home for a few different reasons, but it's temporary. He had to get his wisdom teeth taken out, and he's also working on different modeling opportunities in New York City, and I am so incredibly proud of him. But he was also having a really, really hard time in LA. Dealing with a public breakup and negativity online sent him into diagnosed clinical depression, which he is now being treated for, and he wanted to be with my parents. Nothing more.
So now you guys know why, at least in James's words, why Ian moved back to New York. So then we get to the text or the tweet. God, we get to the tweet where Jeffree talks about how, oh, now you understand why like Nate banned me, or why Nate banned James and this, that, and the other. So let's go ahead and see when Nate, oh my God. So we'll go ahead and see when Jeffree said what he said, and then we're gonna listen to what James has to say.
Last but finally not least, Jeffree posted this tweet claiming he hadn't seen me since February and that Nate banned me from their home. Now, this so-called ban is the first time I'm ever hearing of this, and I just think it's really funny that Jeffree brought this up, considering the fact that he's tweeted me twice in between February and now saying that he missed me. Regardless, he ended that tweet by saying I was a danger to society and everything in Tati's video was 100% true.
So it's funny, like when you hear of certain things and not even straight from the horse's mouth, because like he said, Jeffree never told James that he was banned from the house. Jeffree is spinning a narrative because James even has the receipts where he's like, Jeffree told me he missed me. He told me he loved me in between like February and here. Now, if Nate and Jeffree had this conversation, that's on them. But the point is, he was still communicating with James as if, even on May 6th, when Jeffree told him, hey, I'm hoping that these, that this can be fixed between me and you, between all of us, for the sake of all of us. So from February to May, now all of a sudden you want to say, oh, Nate banned James from this. Nate banned James from that. Okay, when were you going to tell James? When were you going to tell James? Because James, this is brand new information to James. So it's just, and then if you guys go watch Tea by Allie, she was like, hey, go look at the fact that like Jeffree has been deleting like thousands of tweets. I guarantee you those tweets were to like James Charles and Nikita Dragon and Gabriel Zamora and Tati Westbrook. I guarantee you those are the tweets that he deleted. What other tweets does he have to delete? People already have the ones from the past. People already have the ones from, him saying the N-word or, touching a straight man when he didn't ask to be touched. Like, those are already out there. Why is he now deleting the tweets? Then Jeffree goes and texts James's best friend, which, how do we know? Because Drew, being a true friend, probably took a screenshot and sent it off to James. This is what the text message read. How do you sleep at night knowing that you enable and support a predator and a pedophile? Hopefully you seek help very soon and get away from that monster. When he trapped that boy in his hotel room in Seattle and you didn't care about it, I knew you didn't have a soul either. Again, if you want to know what happened between James and Sam, go watch the video. Because I'm sorry, but just go watch it. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of it on the whole James and Jeffree situation. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh my God, I don't know whose side to take. Do I believe James? Do I believe Jeffree? Who do I believe? Who do I believe? Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. You're the company you keep. So it's okay for both of these individuals to be trash. You don't have to support both of them. I don't think either one is right in this situation. However, I will say, who is the common denominator for all this mess? Who always starts the drama? You guys might think that beauty is Jeffree Star's niche, but it's not. It's him being manipulative, and it's him starting drama, and it's him trying to make sure that you guys believe everything he says, because people will literally go to the ends of the world to try to prove, when somebody comes out and they go, hey, this is what Jeffree Star told me, you guys will try to prove that it's fake. Why will you try to prove that it's fake? Why can't it just be real? Not everybody is a hater. Not everybody is out here trying to say, listen, I'm doing this because I'm trying to come up. Because right now, the only person who was trying to come up out of this whole situation was Sam, the waiter. Because he put, you know, his little 2 cents in, but he was telling, you know, James, oh, I'm straight. But James was like, right here, you told me you were bi. And I'm not saying that James should have pushed him or pursued him or whatever. But Tati and her James tried to tell him, like, listen, this is gonna come back and bite you in your ass. And he should have listened to them. But at the same time, it's like, why are these people, why does everybody believe that everybody is out for Jeffree? When nobody is out for Jeffree, everybody's just trying to warn everybody else. It's not that we hate Jeffree, it's that we love everybody else so much that we're just trying to warn you. Because if you just look at the common just look at the common denominator. I'm just saying, look at everything. When people show you who they are, believe them. Because if not, you're gonna get hurt and people are gonna be standing in the corner talking about, I told you so. That's it, and that's all. So who's right, who's wrong? They're both wrong. I think the only difference is James literally has time to grow. And he even admitted that his ego is the problem, which could have been a PR stunt. I don't know, because the kid's only 19. But Jeffree is like 30 and has been doing the same thing since he was 19. So in 15, 20 years, when James is an older man, then we can look back and we can try to see, you know, oh, is this still happening with James? Is this still happening with James? Are people still saying, hey, James is doing this, James is doing that? And like I said about James, like, I believe everything he said in the video, but I also believe the things that he didn't say. Let's take time to go over the things that he didn't say. I think Sam said something about the truth always comes out when you drink, or James said that to Sam or Gage, or he said it to one of these boys. He did not address that in his video. He did not discuss the vulgarities that he used in front of his parents and in front of Tati. He did not address that, which I believe 100% he probably said it. He did not talk, he talked about how people were faking all these stories about him, like, you know, touching guys inappropriately in the urinal, but he did not touch on the fact that, you know, somebody was like, oh, do you remember when James tried to catfish the whole soccer team into sending nudes or whatever? He did not address that, which means, well, I'm not saying which means, but which I believe is probably true. And one of the biggest things that he did not talk about is he did not discuss him leaking like all this information to drama channels, because Tati said that was kind of the breaking point for her, and why she would not talk to James is because she found out that he was giving his story or his side to drama channels, and he did not discuss that, which I find very, very interesting. Again, he also didn't talk about Gabriel or Nikita, but I honestly think that's like a whole separate issue. Another thing that people are thinking is that this is a whole conspiracy. Shane Dawson and Jeffree apparently, supposedly, allegedly have another docuseries in the making. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shane is kind of behind this whole thing, you know, and they're making up all these text messages to be like, hey, you know, look how everybody is so invested in all this drama and what goes on behind the, you know, in the beauty community and blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Another thing is a lot of people are saying that James he did not pull himself from Killer Merch, but Jeffree Star kicked him out of Killer Merch. Again, all you can do is you just believe one side or you believe the other until receipts come out. And I don't know how else to try to tell y'all, like, I think it was James or I think it was Jeffree. There, you know, you just believe what you believe, but it's also to believe that both of them are trash. Like, you don't have to pick a side. So all these people that are like, I don't know who to follow, I don't know who to unfollow, unfollow them all. Unfollow them all. Go find yourself some unproblematic people that are doing the exact same thing that they are. But I'm warning you, they might be people of color, so that might be an issue for some people. So I think that's it. Like, of course, this video is gonna be long. I said it wasn't gonna be long, but it is, whatever. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Also, do not forget to link up with me on my social media. All of that information will be down below. Do not forget to subscribe for commentary and how we talk about the problem and we come up with a solution. Until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.